Okay, y'all. Good morning. Good morning. It's what? Tuesday morning. We getting it, man. It's me and the Zack Attack, y'all. Me and the Zack Attack. And when he's on time, I think he's up for the challenge, y'all. He seems to be, ready to accept the challenge, man, of this week without the third person. So, that's a good thing. We are. Yeah, well, I mean, we just got to be methodical about how we do everything. We can't be wasting no moves, man. Just like at the end of the day, this is how we roll anyway. We just do it with a third person, right? So, not having a third person out here, we're going to do it the same way as far as, the properties. The only difference is we're going to be is in the scheduling, in the office, in the back office, on the scheduling and everything. Everything else is pretty much going to be the same. That's why, if you run, I think, and this is just my opinion, I got a disclaimer. But if you run things a certain way, efficiency-wise, when you don't really have to be efficient, then when things come up where it's mandatory that you're efficient, you're not having to change a lot. We're not changing a lot. Well, we may have to work another hour or so a day or whatever, but between, me manipulating the properties and everything, then, it's, and the density and everything. The only mistake that I kind of made this week was I didn't work over the weekend. Usually I'll go do at least 2 or 3 properties over the weekend, and we're going to be doing all of them today. So, because when Zach didn't want to work on Sunday, well, I didn't want. I really didn't want to work either, man. Of course, that was before I knew Francisco wasn't going to be here all week, and Francisco might be gone for a couple weeks. You never know, man. I mean, there's a lot that can happen, man. And he told me, why he has to, go and all that, and I ain't gonna put all that out there, but he's doing what he has to do for his family. So yeah. So, but back to me and Zach out here in the heat. Normally, for instance, I would have done this HOA, the monthly HOA over here. I normally would have done it this week, but that's if there is a good thing. That's one of the good things about not doing something strictly every 2 weeks. If there is a good thing, see this right here, we need to cut this, and it's going to be Monday before I can get to it. And that's just the way it is, man. I'm going to call them and tell them, man, it's going to be Monday. So. At the end of the day, that's, if you got, things like that, and it's not normal, I'm not saying do that, but I don't do any monthly cuts, man. None. And this year is the first year that I'm really trying to do that monthly HOA because, well, that's all they wanted to pay for. And it's not looking good, but it's not been really that bad because you know why? You don't think this is crazy? Because a lot of the homeowners are cutting their piece out front. So when we get over there to do the property after a month, what we are cutting is pretty bad, but there's a lot of sections that we're not even having to touch, which makes the time about like it was when we were doing it every 2 weeks. So because the homeowners over there, I mean, they got the grass up to their damn knee out by the road. They're just going out there and cutting it. And, that's okay. That's what you have to do. They ain't mad at me for that because that ain't my fault. We're doing it once a month. And I don't do it on the 1st. I usually do it about the 4th or the 5th. And this month's going to be about, well, whatever Monday is. I don't see how in the world we can get over there and do it before then. Now maybe if they call me or something, I might try to, yeah. because Zach said he's down to work till 4 or 5 o'clock if we have to, so that's good. You know, me too. You know, I'm not immune to working that late. I'll put it like this: I'm always going to do what I have to do. So, but if I can be smart about it and not have to veer too far off of the norm, then that's what I want to do. Because I want to keep things as normal as possible. So next week when Francisco does come back, we're not all discombobulated, right? And I don't want to be way behind either. So you just got to be thinking about what you're doing, man. That's all. That's all. And I say it every day, right? And I'm going to probably say it every day until the day I stop doing this crap. If you're not thinking about what you're doing out here, you're not going to be able to make as much money as somebody that is thinking about what they're doing. So, another good thing is we got Katie coming out tomorrow, so she's going to help us with the $1 Million Street. So that's a plus. Yeah, I mean, see how quick we done pivoted? Yeah, that's what you got to do. As soon as I found out Francisco wasn't going to be here, I started trying to get in touch with her and to make sure that we got somebody to run a mower, because if we don't have a third person running a lawnmower over there on the $1 Million Street, then we had to break that up, man. You know, like I could go over there in the afternoon and cut, you know, one or something like that, you know, because it's a lot to do for 2 people in one day. It's a lot. It's a lot, man. You'd be surprised at how much of a difference the third mower makes. So tomorrow morning, I'm going to go over there and get started early. Then Zach and Katie are coming over there, and I got to deal with Katie. So I just need you to run a lawnmower. That's all I want you to do. And she's a pretty good operator, so I'm very comfortable with her mowing, and I'm very comfortable with her mowing those properties over there, because she's been over there, you know, 100 times. She's been over there a lot. But yeah, that's about it, man. You know, there's not really a whole lot more to talk about right this minute, because I just pulled up to the first $1.20 and it's 8:30 and a little bit late, but we had to strategize. All right, y'all, so the one down, 120, 9:15. So I just pulled off on that one. Zach is on the second one, which is the push mowing one, like I was telling y'all, and I'm going to the third one, which is another 120. So I found out a little tidbit of information as I was talking to Zach about the little mower, and kind of find out, see, and that's a bad thing about, you know, well, just me not being on every job or whatever. So come to find out, and it ain't Zach's fault or nothing, come to find out Zach and he put the gas that I had in a can, you know, in that mower. But that can had been sitting for a minute, you know, and that was the day that the mower started acting up. Is when he put that gas in that can. That can, it's kind of an emergency type thing, you know, because usually I put gas. I go to the gas station to fill the mowers up and stuff. And if it got the gas out of this can on this truck, then it'd have been a lot fresher. But that gas in that can must be old, because that's when it started acting up, and I just found that out this morning. So what that tells me is that there was trash in that gas, and it's probably clogged up the carb on the little mower. That's probably the problem on everything with the little mower. So, you know, again, you got to be, you know, think about what you're doing. And I'm not, you know, it ain't Zach's fault. You know, the little mower was a little low on gas, so he did what he always does. But that tells me a lot, and that might save me from putting that mower in the shop, because now I know that it's going to be, well, I'm pretty sure, as sure as I can be, that it's going to be, and I already kind of thought it's going to be a carburetor issue. That's what I thought all along, but that kind of fortifies what I've been thinking. Get out there in the shop today, and I'm gonna take that carburetor off and I'm gonna clean it. The good thing about it is I got 2 of those commercial 30s, so I could actually look at one of them while I take the carburetor off the other one. You see what I'm saying? And then when I put it back together, make sure it's all, you know, supposed to, you know, yeah. And one guy was asking me in the comments, you know, do I charge less if I do them weekly? No, I charge the same. I charge the same bi-weekly or weekly. It doesn't matter. I go in bi-weekly, so that's the number. And whatever that number is what I would charge. I don't go cheaper because we're doing it weekly. It's the same money. Because at the end of the day, it's the same time. It doesn't take me any longer to do one that's bi-weekly than it does weekly, for the most part. It ain't enough. It doesn't take me any longer, because I do a lot of things that a lot of guys might not do or might not be able to do in their area. See, I spray, and I do a lot of preventable stuff to where we don't have to spend, where the only thing that's different when we're doing it weekly or bi-weekly is the height of the grass, the actual mowing part. Everything else is pretty much the same, because I've sprayed the beds and blah blah. So yeah, I can control my expenses and make my expenses less when I'm able to kind of move things around a little bit. Now, if I had 4 guys on staff and one guy didn't show up and the other 3 did, I probably wouldn't change anything if I had that many guys. But when you only got 1 or 2 guys, then that's a little bit different. You have to kind of change things up. Not to mention, I'll be honest, I ain't trying to work as hard as the guys that work for me. Not out here in the grass and not out here mowing and stuff. I'll mow, but I ain't fixing to be trying to keep up with a 35-year-old. I ain't got to. You know, well, Ray, you just weak, Ray, blah, blah, blah. No, I'm the owner. I put my bid in, I put my time in, I done paid my dues, and trust me, I continue to pay. Because, like, I'm gonna get on this big one right here, and I'm gonna do some of the weed eating and everything over here. Well, Ray, you supposed to, man, that's your job. Right. But if I had 4 guys, you think I'd be weed eating over here? I wouldn't. Hell, if I had 4 guys that had experience, I wouldn't even be over here. I'd be sitting in an AC Bobcat somewhere tearing some shit up. That's what I'd be doing. I know Matt MG came on in the comments. Big shout out to Matt over there. Y'all go check him out, man. He's got a channel. He don't put a lot of content on YouTube. I think he's bigger on Instagram. Matt MG came on and said, you know, after when he saw the video yesterday about Francisco not coming in and being off all week, see, he understands where I'm coming from, because he's like, aren't you glad that you don't have tons of Bobcat work right now? You see, that's exactly what I was saying the other day about not having time. If I had scheduled a bunch of Bobcat work or ran into a bunch of Bobcat work, and then something like this happens, and it can happen to anybody, any you know, I mean, it can happen. But that don't make it no easier. Then I would be not able to do any of the Bobcat work that I got planned, which would be, or none of the lawns that I got planned. So somebody's gonna get their feathers ruffled, you know, especially if the Bobcat job is predicated on another contractor or a dumpster, or, you know, something that I don't do, right? Then what happens is, well, either you're gonna take a hit on the dumpster deposit, or you're gonna have to put the lawns off, or somebody ain't gonna be happy. And, you know, you don't want to do that if you don't have to, is what I'm saying, I guess. I'm thankful and grateful that that I ain't pick up 10 more lawn care customers like I was talking about the other day, because if I had, we'd be in trouble right now. And I think, you know, the more I learn, and I learn every day, I think that if I had a third person, you know, regular out here, then some of the worries that I worry about now would not be valid. Because you know, production is not going to drop that much when if you got 3 ground guys out here as opposed to 2. Because see, I can fill in a lot, you know. I'm not going to be the ground guy out here. A lot of guys come on in the comments talking about, bro, you don't do nothing but sit on a lawnmower. That's right. That's what I'm supposed to do. I mean, that's a freaking, like, thank you. That's a no-brainer. Are you telling me that if you're, you know, in this game and you've been in this game for, you know, a long time, and you hire guys, that you're gonna be doing all the work, all the weed eating and blowing and stuff? Is that what you gonna do? It ain't what I'm gonna do. I can and I will, and I just did. And I did yesterday, and I probably will tomorrow, and I probably will tomorrow today. But that ain't what I don't want to. That ain't what I'm trying to do. My time could be spent much better doing something else. Much better. You know. You just think you're too good to do all that. You should have checked the trap when back in 2008, 9, 10, 11, all the way up to 2015 or 16. I paid my time. I did my dues. And to know, I did enough of all that solo stuff to know that I don't want to do that. And for the most part, I'm not. You know, I don't never like to say what I won't do, but I'm not. My goal is not to come out here and do this lawn care solo. That ain't my goal. The headaches of labor is better than, you know, me having to do all the physical work. Because as long as I got labor and I got my leadership skills, I can put, and everything that I know, I can put guys in position to, well, to catch up real quick if we're behind. Real quick. Real quick. Because I can methodically do things, and I can do, you know, there ain't nothing out here that I get these guys to do that I don't do myself. Is that what I want to do? No. Is that what I'm going to do? No. Not if I'm paying somebody. I pay guys to do the things I don't want to do. Y'all check out this shipping container they got. Look at that, man. They got it's a roll-up door. Look at all the outlets they got in it. They got the ventilation, the vents in it. They got the ventilation fan in the back. That's pretty sweet, man. I like that. That looks nice. Now this is not the same size as mine. Mine's a high cube. I don't think this is a high cube. Mistake they made though. Look at these all these screws coming through. That ain't good, man. There's got to be a better way than that. I've never seen nothing like that. I guess they could have put I don't know how else they would have done it though, really. Unless you're welding it. I probably would have just welded something on there to screw to. Which you can weld to this right here. Pretty sweet. I'm gonna spray. Y'all see all that debris over there? I'm gonna spray all that because we're not. And I charge $60 to spray over here. So yeah,